Welcome to Building Your Innovation Dashboard. I'm Tom Perry. I'm an Agile Transformation Consultant and Coach. I'm the author of The Little Book of Impediments, founder of Agile Management Northwest, and General Sherpa Builder Innovator, and founder of Thomas Perry LLC. Today our agenda is going to be talking about the elements that are necessary to build a great innovation dashboard. There are really four key areas we're going to cover here: catching great ideas, nurturing great ideas, and sharing great ideas, and then how we build on those. The backstory behind all of this was inspired by the pandemic and a lot of the activity that came about because a lot of people lost their businesses or were shut down for one reason or another. And it became clear that many folks were desperate to find new ways to get old work done. And so, with that in mind, the problem has been that business has been disrupted, that it's hard to think of useful new ways of getting new business. And frankly, it's just stressful. It's hard to come up with the ideas when you're under this kind of stress. And so, innovating has become much more critical to all of us than ever before. So we need ideas. We need coaching, we need consulting, and where possible, we need apps. And that was one of the things that I set out to do, was to develop an application to help start capturing these ideas. And I initially I called it Dreamcatcher, but then I switched the name to One Swift Idea, and it is available on the App Store. You can find it if you search for One Swift Idea, all one word. And It was my attempt to start capturing a lot of my own ideas, as well as working with friends and family who also had similar challenges. So, what do we do to help with catching great ideas? Well, the first thing we need to do is keep a list. Ideas tend to fade quickly, and the very presence of ideas can help to spawn other ideas. And the experience really does need to be as rich as possible. And we also need a safe place to keep all of this stuff. So, for many of us, that might mean that these ideas that we're trying to hold on to are ideas that need to be private, ideas that we're not going to share with others, so that we can hold them within that safe spot, that safe place, and consider them and grow them and nurture them. Um, a lot of us use a lot of different tools to do this. So I talk to people who use tools like Pinterest. And one of the things I like about Pinterest is it allows you to sort of create these idea boards, this visual board that collects all the different related visual activities in these nice little clippings that you can pull together and come back to and investigate further. Um, the other thing to consider here is, how are we going to continue to nurture new ideas? So there are some things we can do. One is reminders. So by reminding ourselves that those ideas are present and doing it throughout the day, we can basically resurface and reinforce those ideas. So if you have a good idea, if we have a tool that will help us to refresh and bring that up to mind, we can review those ideas, give them more consideration, and hopefully grow them. The other thing is that categories seem to help. So putting ideas into different categories seems to make it easier for us to work with them. And so if we have a category for work ideas and home ideas and things like that, those categories seem to play an enabling role. So whatever tool we're using, we should have something that it allows us to express ideas in terms of different categories. The other thing, of course, is that ideas are multidimensional. And by that I mean they have a visual aspect to them, they may have an auditory aspect to them. They are very, very rich, or they should be very, very rich, because we're trying to bring in as much information as we can. They also have different perspectives. And so when we're looking at ideas and trying to grow them, We want to do things like comparing ideas through substitutions. We might contrast ideas with a future backwards sort of exercise. So it's ideas spread out over time, ideas in the future, ideas in the past. And it could be that we are going to look for opposite ideas. So perhaps opposites, comparing and contrasting can also be useful. So when we're looking at a tool that's going to help us with this, with growing our ideas, we want to look at a tool that allows us to look at our ideas through different lenses, if you will. So one of the key things we want to do is, of course, collaborate or share with our friends. We want to call a friend and share the idea with them. We want to, these are the folks who are going to encourage us, who are going to contribute to these ideas. So being able to collaborate with others is really important. And it could be that maybe there's a corporate suggestion box, maybe in a larger context, in a larger group context. You want to collect ideas together. That runs afoul of sort of the safety issue, but on the other hand, it does allow for much, much larger collaboration. So I think it's one of those things that we have to treat delicately. I think for collaboration to really work with innovation, we have to keep our groups very, very small. And my suggestion is that you keep your group smaller than 5 people. So really, really small is important, at least to begin with. And you can use a like a liberating structures sort of group aggregation method where you start off with one person and then pairs of people and then groups of 4 people and groups of 8 people. You could grow it kind of like that. That would be another approach that I would use. But you just have to be very thoughtful and careful about how you facilitate innovation style exercises. And then finally, there's building those ideas. And when we get to that point, we want to track the evolution and growth of our ideas. And so that does suggest that you might have some sort of innovation process. And I know that's certainly the case in larger organizations where they will have a very well-defined innovation process, which makes it easy for us to start looking at different states in the process and asking ourselves the question, where are we here? How many ideas are in each state? And how well are ideas flowing through those states? And even asking ourselves questions like, where are the bottlenecks? And so having some sort of dashboard that can reflect that for simple things like new ideas, collaborators, feedback, new products that have actually made it out to market. All of these things are very, very simple to do and should not be elaborate. So this dashboard I pulled together using PowerPoint. It was incredibly quick to do and required little or no technology other than PowerPoint to pull it all together. That's the kind of thing you should be starting with. Figure out what you need, and then you can automate it further beyond that. So those are some ideas for how to get to the point where you can be using an innovation dashboard. If you're interested in more, please check out my workshops on business innovation, product innovation, and career innovation, as well as my services, training, and coaching. You can check out the website, thomasperryllc.com, and there's even more content up there. There's a YouTube channel and a blog, so there's a very, very rich source of information up there. So let's build something great. If you're a business, I want to help you diversify and thrive in the new normal. If you're a coach, I want to work with you to build new connections and help others thrive. And if you're unemployed, I want to help you find a new way of working. Thank you again and have a great week.